Okay, look, I know what you're thinking. Mogwan exists, Ultimate Havoc exists. These weapons certainly wipe the floor with just about any of those weak purple guns, right? It might be a stretch to call them the most broken weapons in the game, but they can't be directly compared to the meta-breaking OP shotguns because they serve an equally valuable yet opposite purpose. If you haven't guessed by the silhouette on the thumbnail, today's video is about railguns. If you told me 2 years ago I'd be making a video about these things being overpowered, I would have laughed in your face. Gauss, Weber, and Volt, the guns that came out with Jaeger, were just as weak as Jaeger was on release. But they've always had the very useful innate properties of piercing defense points and dealing all of their damage in a single high-velocity shot. The only missing part of the equation for these guns was damage, and damage they received. Over the years, these weapons have received countless direct buffs to their damage and their reload through the Powerman pilot skill. Finally, with the introduction of Intel and their downgrade to Tier 3, they received one final damage boost that pushed them over the edge. And it also helps that all the upcoming and recently released metabots just so happen to like flying around in the open, and in the case of Leo, give themselves a bunch of defense points that are completely ignored by railguns. So, with a brief history of railguns out of the way, what's the best way to use them? There's plenty of robots that are viable with railguns. Really anything with high firepower can get the job done. But some stand out from the rest. Here are, in my opinion, the top 5 railgun builds in War Robots. There's no bias for Novalite's robot here on the Adazahi channel. While Bagliord tends to do better as a brawler, it can still hold a lot of heavy weapons, which makes it an acceptable sniper. Despite its low firepower, Pathfinder is able to make for a decent sniper because it has a lot of damage boosts in its kit. Additionally, it's able to support the team at the same time. Nuo is basically the same as Pathfinder, not having a lot of weapon slots, but having a lot of damage boosts, which allows it to be a great sniper. It's also able to support the team at the same time. The thing that makes it a little bit better is that it's really fast, so you can take angles that enemies aren't expecting. While Crisis might have a flimsy amount of durability, that doesn't take away from all the benefits it has. Not only does it have heavy firepower, but it also has a ton of damage boost. And let's not forget about the stealth. Not only does it enable it to use the moderator drone, which gives it even more damage boosts, but it also lets it easily reposition, exposing itself only at the right moment. The cherry on top is its decent mobility and its built-in shield breaker, making it adaptable to all sorts of different situations. Oh, and check this out.
What the hell?
Okay, we all saw it coming. Obvious first place is obvious. There's not really much to say here. Ravager is basically just a Crisis with all the weaknesses removed. Not only does it have a smaller hitbox, which makes it harder for people to blind fire you, but also, instead of having a very flimsy amount of durability to make up for all the incredible benefits that it has, it instead has an infinitely scaling durability boosting pilot, so yeah, that makes a ton of sense. But don't be discouraged if you don't have a Ravager. Just because Ravager is the best one doesn't mean that the others are comparatively useless or something. Even Crisis is still extremely serviceable with railguns. Thank you to those who made it to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed, and maybe even got a new build idea to experiment with. Speaking of new builds, with the new Workshop 2.0 system, you can craft yourself some railguns faster than ever before. And the best part, it's completely free. Let me know down in the comments what you plan to build with the new workshop, and while you're down there, maybe consider leaving a like and subscribing. Anyways, as always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to use the code Adazahi on the webshop.